Hey guys, what's going on? Finn on fire here. On the heels of another close defeat. Um, this one was definitely a little harder to take, I think, than our first defeat. But we're 2-2, and we've gone up against some pretty experienced clans. We've gone against two rank 6 and a rank 7. So, I mean, I don't take offense to it. I think we're doing pretty well. I think just we need some smarter, veteran decisions, just based on, who you're going to attack and what you're going to attack with. I think there's just too much going on in clan chat, just as far as, too many people saying, attack this base. Hey, this base needs to be 3-starred. Hey, this base needs to be 3-starred. You know, I trust everyone in this clan to make good decisions in terms of who they can 2-star, who they can 3-star, whatever. I trust you guys. So if you want help strategizing, let me know. But I'm not going to baby everybody to say, oh, attack this base and this base, attack this base and this base, because you know your capabilities, or at least you're learning them. I want you to be able to recognize, you know, okay, so let's say you're really good with the earthquake spell or something like that. And maybe you found a base that's sort of compartmentalized that you can blow a big hole in to be able to get your troops right into the middle of the base. That would be something that might play to your strength because you have that earthquake spell. Maybe you're good with the jump spell. Maybe you want to attack a base that's more open and not many compartments because you like to use witches. Maybe you like to use air attacks or want to try the new Golo Wee Wee or Golo Wipe. Um, I want to try to empower people to say, you know what you're good at, you know what base you can 3-star, go at it, go do your thing. And honestly, that's what I felt that we did last war, and I felt that it just worked better. People were more excited. People really, got in there and started attacking and just looked at, bases and said, hey, I'm going to attack this base because I think I can get this base. And that's the kind of enthusiasm that I want when you guys are selecting bases. Also keep in mind, I keep getting asked, well, what strategy, I'm using this strategy. What base should I attack? Or I have this army. What base should I attack? Hey, I made this army. I'm going to go attack this number. Well, guys, the base should dictate what kind of army you use. You saw how Noir adapted to the base, the bases that their Town Hall 10s were using, and him and I both got 1-stars on our first attacks and both got 2-stars on our second attacks. So it's about adapting. It's about thinking things through and finding better ways to attack. So next war, we're gonna kind of do the same thing. I'm just gonna mail the strategy. I don't want to use Clash Caller. I think that's just too much work. Um, I'll just send it out via clan mail. Next war will probably be tomorrow, but it's getting late, and I'm getting a little tired, kind of out of breath right now because I just sprinted up 3 flights of stairs to my apartment with my dog. So um, let's just dive into this, go through some attacks, and I'll just try to throw some helpful tips your way if I can. And again, my main goal is just to help people learn and help us get better as a clan. I know some people have been learning things on YouTube and just asking questions and really trying to improve their attacks, and I think that's awesome because really it's the Town Hall 9s that win the wars in the trenches, because you look at all the 2-stars, in the middle, in those middle bases. Look at all those 2-stars, and I mean we're in the same boat. So when we can start 3-starring those Town Hall 9 bases that really can be 3-starred, um, you know, go wipe, go wee wee. I think there's some modifications we can do to help you guys get 3-stars, like I suggested with Golo wipe or Golo wee wee. But ultimately, we need to try to get out of the go wipe rut where we're just getting 2-stars. 97%. That's brutal. So, I'm not going to go through all 50 attacks. Let's just see here. Maybe I will go through all 50. Who knows? I didn't really make a plan, so I guess let's start with Ben's 3-star because I thought that was one of the better attacks of this war. Let's see here. So, as you can see, he's got a shattered lava loon set up. I guess you could call it cold-blooded because he's got one. He's only using one golem for this, which I think is good. And I think Town Hall 9s you don't really need 2 golems. So let's see how this starts out. I mean, the nice part about this base is you have the air defenses kind of on the outside there. So it definitely makes it more susceptible to air attacks, not to mention there is, a good amount of space within the base. So easy clan castle pull, hangs back, lets his queen and wizard do the work. I think his wall breakers got blown up, which is unfortunate. So, but luckily he's able to knock his way into the base and take down what he needs to. So let's just pause it right there. So I know some people, there's been some confusion over what Shattered is and everything like that. Shatter to me, and granted, everyone says, "Oh, Shatter's 2 golems. This is 1 golem. Heavy is 3 golems, or whatever." When I say Shattered, I just in general, Shattered Lava Loon. I just in general mean that the act of shattering in an air attack is using golem heroes and wizards to take down enemy clan castle, the enemy queen, and at least 1 air defense. So if you're going to do this attack, you better make sure that you can get at least all 3 of those. If you can get an Expo, if you can get an Inferno, if you can get 2 air defenses, more power to you, because that's awesome. I mean, that's all gravy. The best part about what happened with Ben's attack here, I'm gonna do some we'll go some blue action today. He actually cleared out this whole quadrant, so that made it really easy just to surround this whole area with loons and not have to worry about anything up there. So let's see. Keep this going. So again, for anyone that wants to learn this attack, this is pretty textbook. Like I said, traditionally you wanna try to blow in with a couple wall breakers, maybe bring 4 wall breakers instead. Sometimes you can work a jump spell into it. I think with Town Hall 9s, it's better to stick to a couple rage and a heal spell. So let's keep it going here. So again, the Shatter, air defense, enemy clan castle, enemy queen, and that completes pretty much the Shatter because that's really what's going to take your air attack down. And like I said, if you can get more than that, if you can get 2 air defenses, awesome. Shatter's done. Ultimately, if you can get your heroes and everything inside a little bit faster, it's really advantageous on bases that are going to be a little bit more difficult to get your balloons and your air attack going while your heroes are still alive. So if you can accomplish that as well, that's also a very good thing to have going for you. So slow this down. And here's the one thing that makes this attack successful. You don't launch balloons in a wave like you would do with a normal lava loon. You launch them in small clumps. Usually, 2 to 3 to an archer tower, and one or two to you know mortar, etc., and a few obviously to air defense. And you want to try to use rage spells over the air defense areas so you can really knock those out quickly. Um, I'm also doing some experimenting with haste spells and seeing if there's an advantage there. I have a little theory that I'm working on that because balloons already pretty much one or two shot everything, you know, what's the point of having a rage spell to boost their power? So I'm trying to see if haste spells, which give you more speed than a rage spell, um, can be maybe more effective and make this attack faster. So I'm going to be toying with that and maybe show you some replays in the next couple of weeks here. Anyways, whoops. So yeah, so you want to target small clumps around the base, and you also want to stagger your hound launch. So, you know, you the other thing too is when you launch your hounds, you want to grab the attention of the defenses. So you wouldn't want to launch your hound in from here because you wouldn't pick up this archer tower's attention. If you launch your hound from over here, or someplace that will be in range of that archer tower, but will still target this air defense, that's perfect because then it pulls the attention away from the balloons, and your balloons can just sneak in and take down those defenses. Again, if you're just sneaking in from this side, this archer tower is going to be attacking those balloons. So you want to just small clumps, one hound at a time. So one hound over here, get that clump, clump, clump. One hound over here, clump, clump, clump. And then one hound over here, clump, clump, clump. Because when you do it pretty much all at the same time, it overwhelms the base. There's pretty much nothing that, nothing that they're going to do to recover from this. So, and you also, want to try to make it so your balloons are moving to the center at the same time. So that's kind of why you want to do everything, all at once. And then, of course, drops the healing spell. He's still got a lava hound alive and a ton of balloons. So, I mean, this base just never had a chance from the get-go. Just a crushing 3-star. So, awesome job, Ben. I love it. Good deal. I'm going to go through and maybe check out a couple other attacks here. And then we'll maybe check out a couple of poor attacks and just kind of, see what went wrong. I'm not going to try to pick on anybody in particular. Let's check out Love's attack here. So, symmetric base. Nice spread on the golems. Got the nice wave of wizards. Love and I definitely, or Joe and I definitely have different styles. I like to be a little bit more patient with the clan troops, but I do think that, speed to the center was also advantageous as well. The nice part about it is even though he used his wall breakers quick, he made sure that all those buildings that were behind the wall went down very quickly as well, and then rushed his attack in behind. I've seen people, their golems get just way too far ahead, and then they take their sweet time, dropping their wizards while their golems are just getting wasted. So it's really a tempo and a timing thing when it comes to, mastering the go wipe. And I mean, as you can see, just blew through the middle. Has the jump spell, for the back door as well. And I mean, this is over. He's still got a queen, P.E.K.K.A, golems. They're just basically going to sweep through and clean out the rest of this base. So time is often the enemy in Go wipes. But when you can take a Town Hall 9 and 3-star another Town Hall 9 like that, those are, I mean, if we just had a few more of this war, you look how close this war was, and when we lose attacks, where we waste attacks, it hurts. It really hurts. Every single star counts, guys. So great attack, Joe. Just unfortunately there weren't a lot of just like awesome attacks to take a look at. I don't know if this. Yeah, here's a Town Hall 9. Let's check it out. So again, what do we see from the past 2 attacks? Good spread out golems. A good patient start. I hate hearing people complain about, oh, P.E.K.K.A.s are crazy. That's because you launch P.E.K.K.A.s when there's a bunch of crap. You have this whole area to launch stuff in, and then they're going to go straight forward. Like, that just happened. They're not going to go to the side because they have nothing to target. And that's what being patient and letting that clear out does for your attack. Now, again, you need to look at your base. What is the funnel going to be like? Do I need to be patient and clear stuff out? Or am I going in on just a small corner where there's really not much to target? You saw in Loveloot's attack, he cleared out that one side, and there was nowhere else to go but straight forward. So you just have to look at those things and ask yourself, when I clear out these buildings and I drop my P.E.K.K.A.s right here, where are they going to go? P.E.K.K.A.s are not crazy. They always target the closest building to them. So, I hate hearing, oh, my P.E.K.K.A.s went AWOL, man. Shit happens. No, you didn't funnel right. And then your P.E.K.K.A.s went off to the side because that was the closest thing to them. I've seen attacks where people are halfway into the base and they haven't even launched their P.E.K.K.A.s or their heroes yet. And it's like, hello, launch your P.E.K.K.A.s. Again, in these 3 stars, it's a tempo, and you want to keep that upbeat tempo. Golems out, wizards down, bust into the base, and then plow everything forward once the funnel's clear, once the targeting structures are clear. So, all right, let's go pick on some 1 stars. Why not? There's nothing that really comes to mind when let's pick on Logan. I gave him an attaboy, so let's cut him down a few pegs now. I'm just kidding. So luckily got the pull there. Hog might have been easier. Let's see here. Poison spell, minions. That's something that I actually like a lot. And something I actually thought about doing for one of my attacks today, because minions are so good at taking down enemy clan troops pretty quickly, especially dragons or lava hounds. But fortunately, they do take up quite a lot of space, it seems like. So he's not going for the shatter, and it makes it tougher. I would say you probably want to get the most out of your rage spells, so probably putting them somewhere like there and like there probably would have been a little bit more beneficial. You don't really want to overlap when you have spells because you're just wasting part of your spell. So if you can get the spell to go into this cannon area, etc., or push you further into the middle, more power to you. Good heal spell. I mean, ultimately, this isn't really a bad attack. Got that queen down with that last lava hound, or that last lava pup there. I think ultimately, I take back what I said. This is where you should have used that heal spell and tried to get you through the splash damage from the Wiz Towers, because that's ultimately, when you launch balloons in two waves, they tend to meet in the middle and form a big clump, and then these Wiz Towers use that splash damage. So that's traditionally where you want to use your heal spell. But I mean, it was a good attack, Logan. You were right there. It's definitely tough to do that and tough to deal with the queen and stuff. I think that's why I just think that the shatter is a little bit more reliable in terms of having that little safety net where you take down the queen and the air defense and the enemy clan castle. But that wasn't a bad attack. That wasn't a bad attack. It's just that's part of air attacks is you're gonna have 1 stars like that. But I'm glad that you're trying to master that attack. So Noir and I both kind of ran into the same thing. I'm not going to get too much into that because I want to focus on the Town Hall 9 attacks. Let's check out what happened with Sneaker here. Boy, this 17, she was just one tough cookie, huh? So again, we have... Did you... Oh. See, here's one thing. I think Earthquake spells are great. But for a Town Hall 9, in a base where you don't really need Earthquake spells, you know what? Because it only leaves you with one rage spell, and one heal spell, and that's something to think about if you think that's going to carry you through a whole attack, where you could bring 2 more rage spells or a rage and a jump spell, and I think you'd be a lot better off. But I mean, the setup's not bad in terms of your troop loadout. I think at least if you're going to use witches, I would say use at least 2. One is kind of pointless, but these bases, again, I've never seen this replay, so I don't know what's about to happen. But these bases are a little bit so some of these bases that are I guess you just call it the square core bases. We see these all the time, and I talked about this on a previous replay or a previous war recap where sometimes they have the corner sticking out, which is very easy to target and funnel into a corner. But this one, you have sort of the inverted or like rounded corner, which is going to give you a hard time funneling because no matter where you drop troops, they're not going to go here. They're not going to go straight there because now you have this inverted area, so that they're going to go to the sides. And this is something that actually happened to Doom's attack as well. It might have been on this pace, in fact, but just dealing with the inverted funnel can be a little bit tricky. I think just smashing through one of the sides is a lot easier, and on top of the fact that you only have 4 buildings to take out, and then you can pretty much plow through the middle because all of these buildings are going to be, the nearest targets for your P.E.K.K.A.s and stuff. So let's see what happens here. Especially, that's another thing about the Earthquake spell. Don't use Earthquake spells just to take down one wall. It's completely worthless. You know, you'd almost rather have your heroes or your P.E.K.K.A.s just chop through the wall at that point, but a jump spell can get you in just fine. Don't waste four spell slots to take down one wall. You know, on some bases, like here, let's, you know, this maybe would have been something that to look at for an earthquake spell, because then all of a sudden you blow this entire hole open, and voila, you can just blast your way right into the middle of the base. So that would have been the good spot for your earthquake spell, so you can take the outer and the inner wall, not just the inner wall. And again, I'm only trying to help. I'm not trying to pick you apart. I'm doing this just to try to help you guys. So, rage spell down, troops are moving in. I think unfortunately the P.E.K.K.A.s were in a little bit too early probably, and when they get up there next to the golems and the golems are taking all that splash damage from the dragon and stuff like that, that really just crushes your attack, and of course the heroes are having a hard time figuring out where to go. Don't forget too that the queen's ability does restore some health, so I would wait a little bit longer to use that. So, but again, these are pretty simple things to clean up and to consider. Um, you know, when you're using the earthquake spell, you want to try to get at least a couple walls down, not just one single wall, because you're wasting four spells on one single wall, or four spell slots when you could just use one jump spell and have another rage spell for the core there. So if you had another rage for your queen, probably would have been able to at least bring down that town hall. So these are just the things we need to start thinking about and getting in the habit of, so we can consistently just get better stars and have better attacks on a much more consistent basis. And if you want to talk strategy, say, hey Casey, look at this base. Is it a go white base? How would you attack it? And I'd be happy to screenshot the base and draw some stuff on it for you and say, here's what I would do. And so I'm happy to help where I can, guys. Sorry, I don't want this to get too long, but just doing the best I can to help you guys out. Oh man, Glorth tried that base too. Shock. Shock, I have to expose this travesty because... Oh, this isn't the right attack. Never mind. I didn't even know that you tried this. Oh, it was this one. Shock. Shock, shock, shock. I hope you don't go to casinos, man, because this was the sucker's bet. The ultimate troll base, and just watch those dragons melt away like butter. Like butter. Honestly, if anybody wants to do that on their base, I'm not opposed to it. I think troll bases, well, they got shock. They can get anybody else, right? Um, let's see. Man, that number 9, he was a bitch, huh? Check and see what happened in Dean's attack. So, but again, I think that you guys are hopefully starting to grasp some of the things I'm saying about go wipe. When you're funneling, some of the things to consider. Again, we have inverted corners on this base, so if you're gonna go wipe, which he's going air attack, I would go from the sides, but you know, for one, when you're doing this, again, it takes time. Um, I'm a much better at shattered lava loon than I am with just go lava, or I'm sorry, with just lava loonion. Um, the more hounds that you can get involved, the better. But ultimately, I would just watch some YouTube and just focus on this attack strategy a little bit better. Personally, I think not having a plan for the queen or the clan castle troops, I think it just I think your attack's just pretty much doomed from the start. Let's check out Shane's attack here. So, first of all, going against Infernos, yeah, they're only level 2, but they're still Infernos. I wouldn't go 2 golems. I think that anytime you're facing off against a Town Hall 10, you should go 3 golems really. So a little bit of an awkward start here. There goes his other golem coming back in. So now, unfortunately, what you have is you have one golem that's way behind everybody, one golem that is now dead, and then here come the P.E.K.K.A.s. So now all of a sudden you have no tank for your P.E.K.K.A.s. So the P.E.K.K.A.s become the tanks, and they're just getting brutalized by the Teslas and everything else. I think 3 P.E.K.K.A.s is the max you should ever bring to a go wipe. I think ultimately 2 P.E.K.K.A.s and one in the clan castle and then a couple of witches I think is your best bet, especially for a base like this. But all right, guys. Well, I think I've probably beat enough into your head for one night. Again, if you want me to review, your specific replay or what have you, I can definitely do that. But I hope that some of the things I'm saying are making sense, and just continue to get better and get consistent and go for those 3 stars. So, thanks, guys. Finn on Fire out.